The hardest thing about being a bodybuilder is that it's constant. You don't really get any break from it. I've done other sports, other training that, you know, maybe they're even harder than bodybuilding. I've done some training with martial artists, and the cardio work they do and the hours they put in and this and that is very hard. So the training is hard in bodybuilding, but you could say maybe some other sports might be harder. But with bodybuilding, you don't leave it behind when you leave the gym. It's with you all day. You've got to eat. You've got to calculate what you've got to eat, and you've got to eat at certain times, and you've got to rest, and you've got to make sure to get enough sleep and everything. So it's a real regime almost throughout the day. So there's no rest. And when you're getting ready for a competition, you're training harder, you're training more, and you're eating less. So that's very unusual. There's sports out there, wrestling, boxing, things like that, where they've got weight categories where the guys might have to lose a lot of weight quickly, but they don't have to achieve basically contradictory goals, which is maximum muscle mass, minimal body fat. So that's quite hard to achieve. So I think it's the thing with bodybuilding, it's a 24-hour job, like total dedication, if you want to get the most out of it anyway, which is the way that I did it. Well, it's a bit of both, isn't it? It's not really a beauty pageant, otherwise I wouldn't have won, because I'm not that pretty, but you know, it's a body contest, but it's also a sport, because it's, you know, anyone that doesn't think it's a sport, they can come and train with me and like maybe they'll change their opinion, because it's very physically challenging and it's a competition. So I think that's the definition of sport, actually. There's a lot of things out there like snooker and pool and darts, and you know, they're called sports. So if they're a sport, then bodybuilding is definitely a sport. I don't know, because I probably maybe came from a different place doing bodybuilding. I was not doing bodybuilding because I felt insecure, or I didn't feel big enough, I didn't feel strong enough, or so on and so on, because I already had a good physique. Anyway, I was lean, good abdominals, good physique, was fit, I was strong. So it was something that appealed to me and something that I felt could really change my life in a positive way. There was no social media. I was purposely covered up all year round. Even the guys that trained with me, they never saw my physique, because I was always covered up in the gym. I was just there to do my job, not there to look at myself in a mirror or take pictures, or didn't want to be distracted, totally focused on the job that I was doing. And I wasn't interested in what people on the street thought about me or not, or whatever. So I was not walking around with a tank top on showing off because I want to get acceptance or attention from people. I didn't care. The only people I wanted acceptance and attention from were my peers and like at the competition. So I was just showing my physique at the competition because the people are there that know what the best physiques in the world look like. The average guy or woman on the street, they don't know. And probably to them it looks very strange and extreme, and I don't really give a shit what they think anyway. So that wasn't it for me. I was not trying to like be bigger than, stronger than people and get that kind of feedback. So I don't understand it. Little boys in big gorilla suits, somebody once called it. So the guys might be huge, but inside they still feel like a little boy, and that's why they're doing that, behaving like little boys. Well, when I competed, you had bodybuilding, you had male bodybuilding, and you had female bodybuilding. I think towards the end, maybe they had women's fitness or something like this, maybe towards the end of my career, end of the 90s. So it was just bodybuilding. Now you have bodybuilding, you have classic physique, men's physique, bikini, fitness, figure, so on. There's a whole industry now around it, and it seems to me to be much less of a sport now, than all the other stuff that's going on. So it's, for me now, it's much more material and superficial than it was back then. It was just more of a serious sport, where now it's a whole industry and it's great. More people are going to the gym, whether they're doing CrossFit or bikini or, I don't really care. It's great that they're going to the gym. So that's a good thing, but it has changed from the way things were when I was competing, and I'm still from that generation. I'm still old school, so But, you know, that's the period that I like the most, when it was serious bodybuilding.
It's a money-making machine.
Yeah, it's an industry. It's an industry now. It's a huge industry, and the more people that participate in the industry, the more categories they have, the more money is available. And you know, these categories like men's, I don't know what it is, where they wear these long shorts and they don't need to train legs. I can't remember what it's called. And then they got the women's bikini contest. I mean, let's be straight about it. These are quite easy to compete in. You know, if you're a young person, you're quite lean, you could train for 12 months maybe and do a bikini or a men's fitness or whatever it's called. So it's more accessible, there's more people that can do it, whereas bodybuilding was a lot harder, and you've got to train for maybe years before you think about doing your first contest. So the industry's grown, there's more people going to the gym, that's great, but I kind of missed the, you know, the hardcore days from back then. I don't know, because I don't really know the people you're talking about, but you don't even need to compete now. I mean, that was really the only route for you to make a living from the sport. You had to compete successfully on a pro level in order to make prize money, endorsements, contracts and things like that. Now people can do their own promotion through social media, and if you've got a few million people following you, you can make, you know, you can make a lot of money without necessarily going to compete. So it's a different day, and the physiques are different. Even in bodybuilding now, the quality of the physiques is not as it used to be, I believe. The guys are big, but they don't carry the conditioning that we used to. So I don't really know what people are doing differently, because I'm not that close to it. But yeah, the quality has gone down.